Right now, there's a voice inside your head saying you're not good enough. Not smart enough. Not successful enough. And here's what's wild. Wayne Dyer spent 40 years proving that voice is lying to you. So if you've ever felt like you're falling behind in life, this video is going to hit different. Wayne Dyer, psychologist, best-selling author of over 40 books, and one of the most watched speakers in PBS history, dedicated his entire career to one question. Why do people feel so damn worthless? His answer was revolutionary. In his landmark book Your Erroneous Zones, which sold over 35 million copies and sat on the New York Times bestseller list for years, Dyer identified something he called erroneous zones. These are false beliefs your mind built from the outside world. Someone told you you'd fail, and you believed them. Someone said you were different, and you internalized it as a flaw. Dyer called this living from the outside in, instead of the inside out. Here's the truth that Dyer repeated in front of millions of Americans. Your worth has nothing to do with your success, your bank account, or what anyone thinks of you. You didn't earn your worth. You were born with it. The same creative force that built the universe built you, and it doesn't make mistakes. The fix isn't complicated. Every morning, look in the mirror and say, I am enough. It'll feel ridiculous the first few days. Stick with it. By week 3, something shifts. Because your brain starts treating what you repeat as truth. That's not philosophy, that's neuroscience. If this video made you feel something, do something right now. Leave a comment below. Just write, I am enough. That's all. It may seem small, but it's not. This is the first step. Now let's move on to the second part. You're driving to work, or lying in bed at 2 a.m., and suddenly your mind starts. Why did I say that? Why am I so behind? Why does everyone else seem to have it together? Sound familiar? Wayne Dyer had one of the most powerful answers to that question you've ever heard. Dyer taught this for decades across his books, PBS specials, and seminars that filled stadiums across America. The inner critic is not you. It's the ego. And the ego has one job: to keep you small, safe, and controlled. Thousands of years ago, that voice kept us alive. Today, it's the thing sabotaging your confidence, your relationships, and your potential. Modern neuroscience backs this up completely. The brain has what's called a negativity bias. Negative experiences are processed 5 times more intensely than positive ones. That's why one bad comment sticks with you for a week while 10 compliments fade by tomorrow. The mind is wired to protect you, not to encourage you. Dyer spent his entire career helping people understand the difference between the ego voice and the real self. In his words, you are the observer, the awareness that hears the thoughts but is not the thoughts. Once you start watching the voice instead of becoming it, everything changes. You stop reacting, you stop shrinking, you start choosing. That shift, from being the thought to watching the thought, is where real confidence begins. Try this today. Every time your inner critic springs into action, tell yourself, I see you, but you are not me. Don't fight it, don't feed it, just observe, then come back here and tell me in the comments, what does your inner critic say most often? Now we move on to part 3. Wayne Dyer's video about how your past doesn't have to define you is very powerful. What's the heaviest thing you're carrying right now? Not physically, mentally. That thing you said, that decision you regret, that moment you wish you could take back. Wayne Dyer had something to say about that weight, and once you hear it, you'll never carry it the same way again. Wayne Dyer grew up in foster care. His father abandoned the family. His mother couldn't cope. By any measure, he had every excuse to let his past swallow him. Instead, he went on to become one of the most widely read self-help authors in American history, earning the nickname, the father of motivation. And this is exactly what he taught. Guilt is a lie. Not because what happened wasn't real, it was. But because guilt serves zero purpose. It doesn't undo the past. It doesn't help the people involved. It only steals your present. In Your Erroneous Zones, his breakout 1976 bestseller, Dyer explained what psychologists now call rumination. The mental habit of replaying painful memories on a loop, as if watching the movie enough times will change the ending. It never does. Here's what Dyer wanted you to understand. Every single decision you've ever made was the best decision possible given who you were at that moment. Your knowledge, your emotional state, your awareness. Today you're different. You know more. You've grown. Beating yourself up for who you were before you grew is like punishing a child for not knowing algebra. Now I want you to try something. Think of something you feel guilty about. Then say it out loud or to yourself. That was the best I could do at the time. I've improved since then. This isn't an excuse, this is the truth. Pause the video and leave a comment below. What is something you're willing to let go of? If you've made your comment, you're now ready to move on to part 4, about the trap of needing everyone's approval. Let's continue. You post something. You immediately check who liked it. You get a compliment and you feel good for 10 minutes. You get criticized and you can't sleep. If that's you, you're not alone. And Wayne Dyer would tell you straight, you're living in a prison you built yourself. Dyer identified approval addiction as one of the core, erroneous zones, destroying modern Americans' sense of self. And in the social media age, it's become an epidemic. The approval loop works like this. You do something right pointing arrow, you wait for external validation right pointing arrow, you feel good temporarily right pointing arrow, the good fades right pointing arrow, you need more approval. It's a cycle with no exit. Dyer's most famous quote on this, and one of the most shared quotes in personal development history, is blunt. What other people think of you is none of your business. That sounds cold at first, but dig into what he meant. You will never be able to control what someone thinks about you. Never. You could be the most generous, talented, kind person alive, and someone will still misunderstand you, judge you, or project their own wounds onto you. So chasing their approval is chasing something that will never fully arrive. Dyer taught that the cure isn't arrogance, it's self-authority. When you decide that your own honest assessment of yourself is the one that counts, something remarkable happens. The opinions of others stop having power over your choices. You stop shrinking in meetings. You stop people-pleasing in relationships. You start living your actual life instead of performing a version of it for an audience. Here's your challenge for today. For 24 hours, share something or make a decision without checking what anyone thinks. Notice how that feels, then come back and leave a comment. What's something you've put off because you're afraid of being judged? Next up, Wayne Dyer explains that worry is the most expensive thing you never buy. It's 2 a.m., you're staring at the ceiling. Your mind is a jumble. What if everything goes wrong? What if I run out of money? What if I make the wrong decision? Wayne Dyer was among thousands of people experiencing exactly this vicious cycle. And his message was simple, and a little unsettling. Worrying never solves a single problem. Not once. Dyer taught this from both a scientific and a spiritual perspective, which is what set him apart from all the other self-help speakers of his time. The scientific aspect. Chronic worry activates the amygdala, the brain's fear center, which literally shuts down the prefrontal cortex, your decision-making and problem-solving center. In other words, the more you worry, the less ability you have to actually fix what you're worrying about. Worry makes you worse in life, not better. The spiritual aspect stemmed from Dyer's deep research into Taoism and the works of Lao Tzu. Tao teaches existence, that life is only happening in the present moment. The future doesn't yet exist, and when it comes, it will be a new present moment, a moment that a future version of you will overcome. You have overcome every difficult moment in your life so far. You are still here. Dyer would constantly remind viewers of this. Look back at your past. You survived 100% of your worst days. Worry is your brain repeatedly replaying a movie that hasn't been filmed yet and labeling it a threat. The antidote is not to assume that problems don't exist. It's to return to the one real thing. Right now, in this moment, you are okay. Do this right now. Breathe slowly, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. That's it, your nervous system has shifted. Comment below in one word. What do you worry about most? You'll be surprised how many people carry the same thing. 6 episodes of video about identity and why most people don't know who they really are. A quick question. Who are you? The first answer that comes to mind, your job? Your role in the family? Your successes or failures? Wayne Dyer would tell you that each of these answers is wrong. And understanding why changes everything. Dyer spent decades teaching that Western culture is experiencing a fundamental identity crisis. We define ourselves by what we do, what we own, what others think of us, and what we accomplish. This makes sense until the job disappears, or until the relationship ends, or until success becomes empty. Then who are you? Dyer pointed to what he called ego identity, the whole set of labels we wear as if they were our skin. Employee, parent, successful, failed, American. These are costumes, not the person wearing them. In his book Inspiration, Dyer spoke of what he called the spiritual self, the awareness that exists before all the labels. Before your career, before your reputation, before anyone tells you who you should be. This awareness is the real you. It's the part of you that was curious as a child before you were graded and judged. Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl, a psychologist Dyer deeply respects, proved that even under the most extreme circumstances imaginable, a person's inner identity cannot be taken away. Your roles will change, your circumstances will change, but the observer within us, the one watching all of this, is you. And if you learn to connect with it, it is unshakable. Here's an exercise. Take a piece of paper and write down every role you play. Then erase them all. Ask yourself, who is left? Write your answer in the comments. I'm really curious what people think. Thank you for listening this far. Since I'm a new channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my page. Your support will motivate me, and these videos, which require a lot of effort, will continue. Video 2, we delve deeper into self-discovery. Don't miss it.